Here's something that might be hard to hear. If your child is 2.5 and still only pointing instead of talking, waiting for them to just grow out of it could be the exact mistake that makes the delay last longer. Language experts call this the silent window, and once it closes, catching up gets a lot harder. Before you click away, I want you to know this isn't guesswork. Everything in this video comes from real developmental science, including the Hart and Risley word gap study, research from Dr. Patricia Kuhl at the University of Washington's Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences, and the Serve and Return framework developed at Harvard's Center on the Developing Child. These aren't gimmicks. They're games speech-language pathologists actually use in therapy rooms, and you can do every single one of them at home for free, starting tonight. Let me introduce you to Jenna. Her son Milo had just turned 2, and while other kids his age were stringing together little sentences, Milo had exactly 7 words. Jenna did what most of us do. She Googled it at 1 a.m., panicked, and then calmed herself down by telling herself, "Boys talk later." Some do. But Jenna's pediatrician gently flagged it at the next checkup, and instead of waiting, Jenna asked for a referral. What she learned changed everything, not through flashcards or drills, but through play. Real, 5 minutes a day play. Here are the 5 games that took Milo from 7 words to full sentences in under 4 months. Game 1. The narration game. The first thing the speech therapist told Jenna to do was talk constantly, but not by asking questions. By narrating. "I'm pouring the milk. The milk is cold. Now, I'm closing the fridge." This is straight out of the Hart and Risley research, which found that children who heard millions more words by age 3 had dramatically stronger vocabularies years later. It's not about baby talk. It's about surrounding your child in normal, descriptive language during ordinary moments. So next time you're making dinner, just narrate it out loud like a cooking show host. Your toddler is absorbing every word, even if they're not responding yet. Quick question before we move to game 2. What's one everyday task you could start narrating out loud tomorrow? Drop it in the comments. I want to see your answers. And stick around, because game 3 is the one Milo's therapist said made the biggest difference of all 5. Most parents have never even heard of it. Game 2, the pause game. This one feels almost too simple, but it's backed by serious science. Instead of instantly handing Milo his cup when he pointed at it, Jenna started pausing. She'd hold the cup, make eye contact, and wait, sometimes for 10 full seconds. This is called serve and return, a concept from Harvard's Center on the Developing Child, and it teaches a child that communication is a two-way exchange, not a one-way demand. The pause creates a gap the child feels compelled to fill, with a sound, a word, anything. At first, Milo just grunted. Within 2 weeks, he was saying cup. The rule of thumb: whatever your child normally gets by pointing, make them work for it with a sound or word first, no pressure, just a patient pause and a warm smile. Game 3. The animal sound game. Here's the one Jenna's therapist called the biggest game changer. Before kids can say full words clearly, they need practice controlling their mouth, tongue, and breath, what speech pathologists call oral motor and phonological awareness. Animal sounds are perfect for this because they isolate individual sounds in a fun, low-pressure way. Moo trains the lips. SSS like a snake trains airflow. Roar trains volume and open mouth shapes. Jenna and Milo would go through a stack of animal cards every night before bed, exaggerating each sound like a game. Within weeks, Milo wasn't just imitating animal noises. He was applying those same mouth movements to real words. Have you tried something like this with your own child? Tell me in the comments which animal sound was the easiest or hardest for them to copy. Only 2 games left, and the next one is the exact technique researchers Kathy Hirsch-Pasek and Roberta Golinkoff found doubles the number of new words a child attempts in a single conversation. Game 4. The choice game. Instead of asking Milo open-ended questions like, "What do you want?" which can overwhelm a child who's not talking yet, Jenna started offering 2 clear choices out loud. Do you want the apple or the cracker? This forces a child to process actual words and pick one, rather than just pointing at whatever's closest. Hirsch-Pasek and Golinkoff's research on what they call conversational duets shows that structured choices like this lead to far more spontaneous language attempts than open questions do. The key is holding up both items, saying the words slowly and clearly, and waiting for any attempt. even a mispronounced one, before handing over the choice. Game 5. Interactive story time. The last game is one you're probably already doing, just not quite the right way. Reading to toddlers works, but the science shows how you read matters more than what you read. Instead of just reading the words on the page, Jenna started pointing at pictures and asking simple things like, "Where's the dog?" and pausing for Milo to point or say, "Dog." This turns a passive activity into an active conversation, which is exactly what builds vocabulary according to decades of early literacy research. 10 minutes before bed, one book, lots of pointing and pausing, that's it. So, let's bring it all together. Game 1. Narrate your day out loud. Game 2. Pause before handing things over. Game 3. Play with animal sounds to build mouth control. Game 4. Offer 2 clear choices instead of open questions. Game 5. Turn story time into a pointing and naming conversation. None of these take extra time out of your day. They just change how you already talk to your child. For months after starting these games, Milo went from 7 words to full 3 and 4-word sentences. Jenna says the biggest shift wasn't in Milo, it was in her. She stopped feeling helpless and started feeling like she had real tools. If you're in the same spot Jenna was, panicking at 1 a.m. and Googling, "Is my toddler behind?" I want you to know, you are not powerless, and you are not alone. If this video helped even a little, hit like so more parents see it, and subscribe because we cover real, research-backed parenting science every week. And before you go, comment below and tell me which of these 5 games you're going to try first. I read every single comment, and I'll see you in the next one.